Hey there everybody, welcome to Auto Bears, and you join me in the beautiful Yorkshire Dales with this, the new Subaru Solterra. And the reason I'm here is because Subaru say that this electric SUV can go places other electric SUVs cannot. So let's find out. So as we get going, here are some of the headlines for you. What I've got underneath is a 71.4 kilowatt hour battery producing 215 brake horsepower and 337 Newton meters of torque. That's the important figure, especially for today. Now that goes to all four wheels via a dual motor system, and essentially all-wheel drive is all you can get with the Solterra. There is no two-wheel drive version available like on the Toyota BZ. So that's kind of the headlines there for you in terms of what we've got under the floor. And if you want to know about range and charging and everything, then just watch the full review of the Solterra. So as I'm going up now, I've actually got it in normal mode. I've not put it into any X mode as of yet. But we seem to be doing okay. I've got some sheep that are a little bit disgruntled, bless them. But what I've got here is loose gravel. So as with the drive modes, of course this being a Subaru, you get your X mode. And with the X mode, you got two versions of it. The first one is for snow and mud. And then you got the second X mode, which is for deep snow and very wet mud and sand. So you've got one which would be perfect for conditions like this. However, I'm actually dealing with it really well just in its normal mode. But if it had been raining, and if it had been all wet and gungy on the front, then I would definitely have the first X mode turned on. But so far, this is dealing really well. Sorry, little sheeps. And it is very comfy. Now, if you have watched my review of the Solterra, you'll know I am a big fan of how this car drives. And I think I might start struggling in a second. So I am just going to try, there we go, 1X mode. So let's see how we can deal with all this now. Oh, there we go. See, lost a bit of traction there. But what the system does in X mode is it feels for the grip on each wheel. And as soon as it loses traction, it just stops and sends the power to the other three wheels. You will see on other videos on YouTube that wheels keep on spinning because it is still trying to find some grip. And then just away, get that traction and keep you moving onwards. So it's always keeping a watch out for you and making sure you've got adequate traction there. Now, when it comes to more of the off-roading side of the Solterra, we've got a ground clearance of 210 millimeters or a smidge over 8 inches, which is the best in class. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised, as the rest of the class are a lot of family-orientated electric SUVs. Sorry there, sheep, I just disturbing your slumber. It is a very warm day, so they are probably taking a well-earned break. Now, when it comes to things like the approach angle, it is around 17.7 degrees. Departure angle is 25.4 degrees, and the breakover angle is 18.2 degrees. So it's actually pretty impressive because we've got those low overhangs at the front and rear with this being an electric car, but just don't kind of expect it to be a full-blown off-roader like some of the other Subaru cars. This is basically just to deal with tricky conditions that you don't really want to put a normal electric SUV into. Oh, let's see what's like here. So I've got some rocks here. Being very careful. Now, one thing I do like is I've got a 360 camera, but I can actually see through the car. There is a camera on the front which projects what's coming up ahead of me, and then it just filters it underneath the car, so I know exactly what I'm going over. It's a really quirky system. I think we first saw it on the Range Rover Evoque, but it's great to see it in cars like this, cars where there is a strong likelihood you are going to take your car off-road, or at least be in conditions where it's not suitable for your average road car. Now, just like the Forester I drove on this exact lane a few months ago, however the conditions were very different, they do feel very similar in the fact it is very comfortable. It's dealing with all the bumps and imperfections and the ruts really well, and just having that confidence of knowing that you've got the ground clearance, you've got all the angles if you need to kind of go over a crest or go up an incline, and that sophisticated all-wheel drive system just giving you that confidence to know that you can go places that, say, a family in a Volkswagen ID4 won't be able to reach. So there is a nice little bit of a one-upmanship you can have then if a couple of you are going off-road in your EV SUVs, especially in wet and windy conditions, and one of you is going to get stuck. You can just plow on past them and leave them for dust. But what I like as well is, of course, this being an electric vehicle, it's very quiet. This is a very weird sensation. Even though the Forester I drove was an e-Boxer, was a hybrid, you still heard the engine, but this being fully electric, it is a different experience. And on that note, I'm going to stop here because I've got to open up a gate. Now, one thing I have been thinking about with the Solterra, now it's not regarding the UK and Europe, mainly the US, is are Subaru going to bring out a wilderness version of the Solterra? Because they have with other models in the range. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the wilderness trim is basically a proper off-roading version of that model, whether it be the Forester, the Outback, or in the US you've got the Ascent as well. And it just means you've got things like robust suspension, chunky tyres, proper off-roading capabilities. So it'd be interesting to see if Subaru do the same with the Solterra and its EV platform. Now, of course, this being a proper Subaru, you do get all the off-roading technology that you would expect from the brand. So as I'm going slightly downhill now, I have got hill descent control that has just kicked in for me. And if I just slow it down, I can be in, oh, there we go. I can set the speed that I want. And I've also got a little grip button as well to help me out there. So this is really impressive. I've set it to 5 miles an hour. I am actually going to apply the brake because there are a couple of little dips here. Now this could test the ground clearance on the Solterra. Okay, I've got no bottoming out. Oh, I'm impressed by that. Oh, wow. Yeah, that really did cope well with that. Now I could easily imagine something like a Hyundai Ioniq 5 struggling with that, or a Volkswagen ID4. But this, not a problem. And don't forget, I'm on standard road tyres. I haven't got chunky off-roading tyres. Now, something I'll also mention is we have got 360-degree cameras. Now, when you get to about 7 miles an hour, it does automatically come on, which is quite handy in traffic or something, or if you're near an obstacle when parking. But what I like as well is you can press the view button on the center console and you can permanently turn on that camera system. Oh, it'll be a test. Oh, wow. Yeah. So that's really handy, and you can go through a couple of different, there we go, a couple of different views. You can have one that points straight ahead. We've got the one where you can see through the car, the kind of bird's eye view one. But just to let you know, I'm not doing anything. I am just steering. The car is braking, it's just taking me at 5 miles an hour. And it's not having any issues whatsoever. Got a couple of sheep here who are going to be a little bit angry with me. I'm sorry. Afternoon. Bless them. So we are just starting to kind of level out a little bit, but it will start to drop again. Oh, that is a stunning, stunning view. So everyone, what have been my thoughts on the Subaru Solterra going off-road here in the Yorkshire Dales? Well, I'm really impressed by it. It feels like a Subaru when you take it off-road. I love the fact you can see the traction control working when it's trying to find grip, and then it does and you move forward. Now granted, this isn't a massive test for the car. The weather conditions are perfect, and really I've just got loose gravel to deal with. But I still think this can do a lot more on this road than probably what a lot of other EV SUVs can do. And I am really impressed by it. The credentials are all there, and you just happen to have a battery under the floor rather than an engine up front. So yeah, if you are after an off-roading EV SUV, this is the one to go for. So everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this little taster of what the Subaru Solterra can do off-road. Of course, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that bell notifications icon. And if you've got any questions about the Solterra, especially going off-road and my time with it, please put them down in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to follow me on social media. But in the meantime, have yourselves a great day. Hopefully you're having as wonderful a day as I am. And I'll catch you all in the next video. So take care, everybody. And bye-bye.